Hey guys, it's Heidi Hardy, and happy Easter, happy Sunday, happy beautiful sunny day. Today on Real Life Transitions, wow, I've been reading that book, You Are a Badass, and it's fabulous. So we're going to take some stuff out of that book in another episode, but today's episode, I wanted it to be about second chances because today is Easter, and what better thing to talk about than rebirth and second chances. So let me tell you a story first to start off. It was cold. It was January. There was a teenager, and she was standing in the hallway next to a payphone. And it was 1982. She was waiting to call the pregnancy center to find out what the test results were that she had just taken. And she was standing there, and you could see it on her face. You could see the worry, how she bit her nails, how she sort of danced from foot to foot and was very anxious. And you can only imagine that in the pit of her stomach, she really knew what the answer was, but hope was still there. She picks up the phone, she drops the dime or the quarter, whatever it was in the 80s, and she calls the pregnancy center, and she gives them the number that they gave her, and she says, you know, I just want to know what the results are. And they say positive. She hangs up the phone and stands there stunned. And all of a sudden, all these emotions and all these thoughts go through her head that were going through her head before, but really hit her at this point. She was pregnant, and she was 16. Was that the end of the world? Was that the worst thing that could ever happen? It probably felt like that at that time. But what seems like life-altering news doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be over. A lot of times what happens is it becomes the new thing in your life that you deal with, and you become and start to see the blessing that comes from those things that happen. So that young woman, for those of you who wonder, was me. And one of the biggest, most wonderful blessings came from that. I have a son who's 33 years old, and he is amazing. And I love him with all my heart. So when I talk about going through transitions, I really know about going through transitions. But I think what's important about this episode is that second chances, there's no such thing. We get infinite a number of chances in our lives to find joy and happiness, to figure out what to do next. There are infinite numbers of chances in our life. And in honor of Easter today, I'd like to say that part of that is because we have a God that loves us, and he loves us so much that he gave us his son, and we have a Savior who loves us, and he loves us so much that he gave his life for us for infinite number of chances. So here's a few things that you can do to get your next chance, not your second chance, but the next chance. Make a decision to learn from this transition experience. What are you learning now? What is it that's teaching you? What are you reading about? Who are you talking to? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you learning from this transition? That's really important, because I went on to have 2 more beautiful children, and I'm a pretty good mom. I'm a great mom. I'm a badass mom. I had to learn those things. So learn from those transitions in your life. Some people have to go through it 5 or 6 times before they learn, but learning how to cope and deal with those things are valuable things that you can keep throughout your life. Here's one, number 2. What other people think ain't none of your business. That's from the book, You're a Badass. And I agree. I completely agree. If I worried about what people thought when I was 16 years old, and I did, I was 16, I think I would have made different choices. At the end of the day, what other people think about me and the choices that I make are none of my business. And they don't reflect me. I get, because of my belief in my God and my Savior, I get infinite number of chances in my life. So what other people think about my decisions shouldn't and don't matter. So try to work on that. And then number 3 is pick yourself up. Get over yourself. Get over the situation. It isn't the end of the world. Find the resources that you need. And when I talk about resources, I said this yesterday, resources are and can be anything from Googling recruiters and HR professionals and finding out what they're looking for in resumes so that you can make the best resume ever. A resource can be a book that you share with somebody, or a book that somebody shares with you. So at the end of the day, pick yourself up and find those resources. When I was 16, the resources I needed, my parents, my family, people that love me, people that assured me that it wasn't the end of the world. Was things going to change? They did. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I look back and I look at that 33-year-old son, and I'm so grateful for that experience in my life. So, happy Easter. Don't forget, you get infinite number of chances to find your joy, to do what you love, to create something wonderful. And back to that awesome quote from Jan Sincero, is we need as many passionate, creative, and smart people as possible to manifest wonderful things in their lives so they can go on and become successful and become inspirations to others. So I wish for you today that if you're going through a transition, to find the infinite number of chances that you have to turn this into something to learn about, to talk about, and to share. Happy Easter again. Thanks for listening. And Real Life Transitions, this was episode 10, special episode. It's a benchmark. So have a great rest of the afternoon, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.